So a little behind the scenes. Chip and I are working on 80-year anniversary. So this is going to be part of y'all's experience with the other side getting finished right now. So it's going to look kind of cool. Something to celebrate, you guys. We're excited.
Could you go ahead and just introduce yourself?
Just tell you who I am.
Tell me who you are.
Well, a lot of people know, and you call me Miss Dot, which has become very familiar. But my full name is Dorothy Bennett Paget. And that's a name I've had for a very long time. But Miss Dot is very familiar to me. Well, I moved in Douglas County in 1941. I was just a young child. And of course, I've seen a lot of changes since 1941. And I'm always delighted to talk about it.
I grew up in Douglas County, product of the Douglas County school system. It's kind of full circle coming back and helping lead the organization that helps businesses.
This restaurant opened up February 23rd of 2000. We were new to the neighborhood, even though we had lived here, but in terms of business, we were new. And what better way to introduce yourself to a business community? So we made the decision to join Chamber of Commerce. This is Chamber newspaper from back in June of 1987. We hosted the first Business After Hour.
Being that most restaurants don't typically last 5 years even, we are very blessed to still be here, and I'm so glad to have the opportunity to be able to run this restaurant. It was always my dream to be back in this community and be giving back to Douglasville and Douglas County, and so I am very grateful.
It's interesting to see a business that was started in the basement that worked with mom and pop businesses, growing from those experiences just in the Atlanta market to, we were then working in Alabama, North Carolina, Texas, Tennessee, Florida, and to see it today. It's been an interesting journey. We try to keep it fun. You can see where we were started, 1983. Dad, early on at his desk in about 86.
I was in charge of membership, being the only person. I was in charge of all of it. We had a female doctor come into town, and she immediately wanted to join the Chamber of Commerce, and I took her money, and the president told me, says, we don't allow women in the Chamber of Commerce. And I said, well, you'll have to allow this woman because I've already taken her money. And for her membership, we can't put her out. Of course, I think it didn't take them very long to realize that women were important in the Chamber of Commerce. Women were doing other things in this county. They were not sitting back, not doing what needed to be done.
It's pretty exciting to see, looking back over 80 years, what we have accomplished. As a woman, as a minority, particularly as a woman of color, just talking earlier with one of our former chamber presidents, he spoke of a time where women were not even allowed to be members of the chamber, not to mention board members. And so I do think it speaks to the elasticity, the adaptability, and the willingness to bloom where we're planted, if you will.
In 1990, this was the year that I was leaving the office, and the very first female president of Douglas County Chamber of Commerce was introduced.
Here, I was born and raised in Atlanta, so having something in Douglasville where we can come home, live, work, and play in this area was important to me. It brings the community together. They feel warm, comfortable, peaceful, and it just fit with me. I loved it.
Douglas County, Douglasville has changed tremendously. The year I was president, one of the things we did institute then, which I thought was very important, it was Shop Douglas First campaign, and it lasted for many years after that year. The Chamber today continues programs similar to that and try to get people to recognize that Douglas County is our home, and the more money we spend in Douglas County, more stays within our coffers of the cities and county.
The focus on small business has been, I think, and will continue to be an important pillar of the Chamber. And I encourage small businesses to look to the Chamber for opportunities to fill gaps, to help them with their needs. The Business Hospital has been a great partner with us in the last few years. Just being able to really walk alongside small businesses so that they continue to grow and thrive has been one big key plan of the Chamber.
Early 2000s was probably when I first got some of those experiences with the Chamber, when we got Large Business in the Year and got to be on that stage with my parents, and it was a really exciting feeling. A lot of those relationships and stewardships through the community had all been connected through the Chamber of Commerce.
Our partnerships have continued to grow and evolve. Our businesses are seeing and reaping the benefits of those partnerships. But over the past couple of years, we've really deep dived into how we can advocate not just for our businesses, but for transportation, for healthcare, public safety.
I also see a lot of benefit with the business community connecting with one another, just them talking to each other, sharing best management practices, or the woes of what's going on. I remember when COVID hit, we were able to share resources across businesses, across business sectors, across industries in a way that if we weren't connected together through the Chamber, I don't think we would have navigated the struggles of something like the pandemic as well as we did as a community.
In 2021, we went through the process of creating a 3-year strategic plan. We revised our mission, our vision. We took a deep dive into all of the things that make the Chamber tick, and we're excited to launch our new strategic plan for the next 3 years in March.
For some time, the young people were going to college and then they were not coming back. I think that having the young people want to come back is something that we really need to remember, that's important.
Many of our diners and our guests that are still, dining with us today are people that saw me running around as a child in the restaurant.
Armand is continuing that tradition. He's doing an amazing job. He's young, so I hope he carries it for years to come. And after that, I hope there will be others that are able to carry this tradition on.
There's no better way to engage at the community at large than with a Chamber of Commerce. There is a desire, an innate desire in a lot of these leaders to want to help you get to that next level.
We're super excited to celebrate 80 years at the Chamber. I'm a huge proponent in not just doing things to check a box or that we have to create everything within the doors of the Chamber, and leaning on those partnerships that we have, whether it's local partnerships, regional, national partnerships, to make sure that we're providing the best options to support our businesses, our nonprofits, our large big box companies, as well as our solopreneurs. I'm Sarah Ray, President and CEO of your Douglas County Chamber, and this is Douglas.
This is Douglas, where businesses and partnerships thrive.
I'm Armand Sayar with Sam and Roscoe's Restaurant, and this is Douglas.
This is Douglas, where businesses and partnerships thrive.
Hello, I'm Mark DeNice, President of DeNice Companies, and this is Douglas.
And I am Douglas County.